中美贸易谈判之际，气候议题一直被认为是双方少数能够达到共识，并且携手合作的领域之一。不过，近期双方的出口管制甚至已经影响到了绿色能源的供应链。今天我们就来到哈佛大学，访问相关学者对此事的看法。As U.S. and China now impose new restrictions on each other's critical materials, and how should both sides balance its supply chain security with climate change commitments?
Well, I think that the current situation is not particularly stable. I mean, it's a matter of the U.S. Taking some action against China, then China responding, and so we can't continue this. So, for example, China has announced that they're going to cut down on supplying rare earths to the world and to the United States in particular. I mean, that would be devastating to the global economy. The fact is that China has a major source of rare earths that are so critical for the economy. If the United States were to try to build its own rare earth economy, it would take 3 years, 5 years at a minimum. And in the meantime, what's happening to the global economy? So we need to have a better agreement about what to do. So is that there's a little bit of this is China responding to what the U.S. did, and threatening to do something. And I noticed in the last few days that there's been a softening of the attitude in Washington towards this, a recognition that the U.S. and China have to work together, and so I think that's a good idea.
China has come to see that energy self-sufficiency as a part of national security, but with global supply chains disruptions and U.S. export controls, do you think China will prioritize its energy independence over climate commitments? And do you think U.S. might face similar challenges?
Well, I think that countries are going to be increasingly concerned about energy independence. I mean, if you don't want to be in a position where you are totally dependent on somebody else to supply the energy needs. We've reached the point where I think we know that we have to depend on a level of security, and we can do that. I mean, the sun shines, the wind blows, and if you use it sensibly, you have a level of energy security.
And do you think scientific cooperation can help ease the rare earth tension between the U.S. and China?
It was important that the two large countries should cooperate and work together. And I think on the most part, we have done that here. And I think it's very important to do that in the future. And my concern is that there's been a setback with the politics in Washington at the moment, which hopefully is temporary.
哈佛教授表示，中美势必要在气候等关键议题上合作，而其中中国学者的研究也必不可少。而他也批评现任政府不断收紧对中国签证，一度影响到了团队的士气。不过，坚信科学终将成为中美携手合作的一大项目。凤凰卫视记者姚怀珍、王天毅，波士顿哈佛大学报道。